Hi, and welcome to episode 36 of Tennis Volley Talk. This week, I've been trying to get hold of some over the phone interviews, which I hope that you guys have been liking whenever I do that. And have a few in the works. So that will be coming hopefully with what I'm going to be, who I'm going to try to get on the phone interview. A few things coming up down the pike here. But also today, I was gonna then probably then talk to you a little bit about the recent Laver Cup that is a team competition format that has been going on for about 6 years. Started by Roger Federer in commemoration and naming it after Rod Laver. And they brought the teams together and they called them Team Europe, which is captained by Bjorn Borg, which I have a picture of, a few pictures of when he played in WCT tennis back in the day. And then the team World is captained by John McEnroe. And I have a few pictures of him too over the years with that. And with that, it's a six man team competition, and consists of singles and doubles also. With that, this year for the team World. They had Taylor Fritz, Francis Tiafoe, Tommy Paul, Felix Auger Aliassime, and Ben Sheldon, and Francisco Garundolo, all of which are very good tennis players, for the U.S., some Europe players, but they call them Team World. And this year happened to be the second year in a row that Team World had won the competition and beat Team Europe. With that, it was a very, very good competition through the whole weekend, but Team World actually jumped to a very early lead in the first day, and it's a 3-day competition over the weekend of Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And they jumped to a very strong, commanding lead the first day, and then swept everybody. And then the second day they swept again, and then the third day was left up to the doubles, and the doubles ended up winning it. And I think the team Europe actually won one match, but Team World ended up playing very well again this year. But also the Team Europe players consist of Andrei Rublev and Casper Ruud, Herbert Hurkacz. He's one of the ones that actually came back after COVID and was one of in a 4-man exhibition, and Tommy Paul was one of them too with that. So he was one of those ones that came back right after COVID and started playing tennis back then. And then we had Alejandro David Vogovich Fokina, and then Gael Monfils, and then Arthur Fils. Those were the Team Europe players, and then, like I said, Bjorn Borg was the captain behind that. But this year it was a very good format. It was held in Canada. It's been held in it's been held in London before. It's been held in Kiev, and it's been all over the world, and it's become a very, very good format and a very good team competition too. And of course, this year they had Ben Sheldon, and he was playing singles and doubles too, and also hitting his monster serves too. Some of those serves were clocked at least 130 miles an hour this year. And he played doubles this year. I think he played then with Tommy Paul, and they ended up playing very well together and beat the doubles team Herbert Hurkacz and Andrei Rublev, or it was Francis Tiafoe playing with Tommy Paul. And that's who ended up winning the doubles in the final day, too. And they played very well together. They mesh well together, too. They played together before. But this is right after also the, U.S. Open. And then the American men did very well in the U.S. Open this year in tennis. And this is, just, letting you know, you YouTubers also, be sure and subscribe and go to my channel and listen to Tennis Volley Talk, and subscribe and like and comment too, if you can. Later on here, you're going to be seeing the racket of the day that I have, and I tell you a little bit about the racket. And I hope that you do like the racket of the day. Please leave comments if you do, because I do like showing you the rackets that I have, many of the rackets that I have here for you, and kind of tell you a little bit about the history of the racket, and then the manufacturer or whatever the brand name of the racket is. So I like doing that too. So be sure and do that. And this is for you also, you podcasters. If you want to see what I'm talking about with the racket of the day, then you can certainly go to my YouTube channel, Tennis Volley Talk, and then take a look at it. And I like doing it, and I like letting you hear what I talk about on that, and let you see what I talk about with the racket of the day too. But getting back to the Laver Cup, it has been held over 6 years, and it's always been a very favorite. Roger Federer is actually in the part owner of this, and he's the one that actually got it started, along with kind of letting Rod Laver know that it was going to be named after him. So they just call it the Laver Cup, and he is part owner in the Laver Cup too, and with that. But this year, actually, the winning team actually for Team World, actually, the players of the winning team, they get $25,000 in addition to their competition play. That is based on each one of their rankings, but they get an extra participation fee is what they get based on that. And they get $25,000 each. And then the players on the losing team, they get $125,000 each, along with a participation fee based on their rankings. So it is, pretty up there, but it's always a very good fun a competition, and a team competition kind of makes it kind of nice. Ben Sheldon kind of thrives on that because he came from a team competition himself, so he really, really did good for his first time on Laver Cup, and that was very good playing all the way around for all of them too this year. I was happy to see Team World win again this year, so it kind of redeems John McEnroe a little bit, because Team Europe had been getting the best of them in the first 4 years that they played it, and Team Europe had won, and John McEnroe was getting a little upset about it, that he couldn't get anybody that was that would gonna beat Team Europe, but he finally did last year. And Team World ended up beating Team Europe. And then this year, they beat them soundly this year with the play that they had with that. So it was a very good way to watch tennis for the weekend, this last weekend with that. So, of that part, I just like watching the players. You get to kind of know the players. And then plus knowing that I have taken pictures of some of the players over the years that I've taken pictures of. And so I really liked being able to do that too. With that, like I said, you YouTubers, be sure and go to my YouTube channel and subscribe and like and comment. Please let me know what you like about it. I hope that you do and are liking something about it. with my podcast and talking about what I talk about. And with that too, you podcasters, if you then want to, because Racket of the Day is going to be coming up too, that they'll be seeing a Racket of the Day. And that one is for you to, if you want to go see it, you can certainly go to my YouTube channel and Tennis Volley Talk and take a look at what I'm talking about on the podcast venues out there. So yeah, with that, it was this year was a very good year in playing in the Laver Cup for the team world players, and congratulations to them, and hopefully they can keep it up again next year at the Laver Cup again for next year. But without any further ado, I'm going to be getting the Racket of the Day out here for you. This racket is really it's called the Whiz racket. You can't really see it very well, but it's right there. The name Whiz, and very old racket. This is actually a J.C. Higgins brand name racket, but really under the brand name J.C. Higgins, Sears sold this racket back in the day, and it's probably the Whiz racket sold by Sears under this name, J.C. Higgins name. And it's probably circa 1945 to around 1950, right in that area. And that's the circa that it was in that era with this racket. So like I said, you podcasters, be sure and go and look if you want to see what the racket that I'm talking about. This J.C. Higgins racket sold by Sears back in the, back 1945-ish to 1950, somewhere in that area. So they sold the racket at Sears, and very good racket, still in good, very good condition for the racket. And but yeah, you YouTubers, again, make a comment if you like the Racket of the Day, and I hope that you do like Racket of the Day, because I like showing the Racket of the Day too for you guys, and for the love of having my rackets, that a lot of them would not be around if I did not if I didn't have them, they wouldn't be around. So that's always a good thing for that to take a look at. So please, also you podcasters, take a look at, if you want to, take a look at them, at what I'm talking about with this racket here today, the J.C. Higgins, sold by Sears, probably, like I said, 1945-ish to somewhere about 1950, somewhere in that area, that they sold this racket. So it's a very good racket, very nice. Well made, still sturdy, still has all the strings in it. Not one is broken. So, and still, yeah, a little loose, but still pretty tight that you can hear the squeak of it. And so that is it. And it's a green racket, and also green strings too. So that's kind of cool with that too. So you podcasters, be sure and take a look at that racket. If you want to take a look at it on my YouTube channel, Tennis Volley Talk, and you make a comment, like, subscribe if you want to, or subscribe on the podcast to Tennis Volley Talk if you wish, and then listen to what I'm talking about with this racket here too. So with that, also the J.C. Higgins brand of that racket, it was sold by Sears. Many products under J.C. Higgins was sold by Sears, rifles and Winchesters and pistols and rackets and stuff like that was sold that. But J.C. Higgins was based on a real person, actually, too. He was a Sears employee. He moved from Ireland to the U.S. In his late teens, and began working at Sears in 1898 when he began to work at Sears. And with that was his whole working career in Sears, and he worked until he retired at Sears. and was president for a short time or a brief time there at vice president, actually, for Sears for a brief time. He was and he was born without a middle name. So Sears actually presented the idea of labeling their sporting goods line with his name, and saw it as a possible labeling brand, as a labeling brand as J.C. Higgins, and that's how that brand came about, with Sears selling under that name and his name. He retired in 1930 as a bookkeeper for Sears. They don't know much about if he was really knowledgeable in the sports or anything, but he was a bookkeeper for Sears. And then he passed away in 1950 back then. Yeah, and his first name was John Higgins, but the C was never a middle name. So that's why then Sears, like I said, had presented a brand, labeling their sporting goods line with his name, and saw it more presentable with that, short name like J.C. Higgins. So, with that, it was that's how that name got on sporting goods labels, J.C. Higgins. In underneath it all was the Sears brand that just took that name and made up different labels for different things in the sporting goods arena of that. So, like I said, you YouTubers, if you want to go and subscribe and make a comment on what I do, please do, and let me know if you like the racket of the day. I do like showing them. And you podcasters, like I said, if you want to take a look at what I'm talking about with the racket of the day, be sure and do that, because you can certainly go there and subscribe and like and make a comment too, or subscribe on the podcast venues too that you hear me on. Any help, any subscribers help with what I do. So please do so. And I just wanted to leave you with it's still trying to hang on in a lot of places in the U.S. and everything to play tennis. And everybody, I just want to wish you a very good and nice tennis week again. Playing, even if you have to play inside, that's still okay. It will be in some places that you will have to play inside later in the season. So everybody have a good week. And I do thank you again for watching me and also listening to me on the podcast venues. Thank you very much. And everybody have a nice week. Thank you.